Okay. So yeah, let's just jump right into it, I guess.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. So, as always, just focusing on basics. So open corners first, then open sides. This is interesting. All right. So this one I feel like is very strange because normally you would pencil here or pencil here. And it's also very strange because the star point literally wants everything but the corner. Because the star point's on the fourth line, right? So if we imagine the 3-3 saying I only want territory, the fourth line says I only want influence, because third line's for security and points, and fourth line's for development. So trying to just take the corner like this just feels a little unnatural. And then also, if black jumps back and makes a base, which is normal, and then white makes their base, black also gets Sete and just does it again. And if we just repeat the same situation, it just looks not good for white.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, I think more common is just this one. I like to say that you should have a minimum of 4 options per side. Uh, that way you can be flexible. So first you figure out what direction of play you want, so like the top side or the right side, and then you want to figure out if you want to be low or high, and you want to be flexible. So at minimum you should have 4 Joseki choices here. So that way you can just play whatever position, direction, or line that you need. So here, the right side and the top side are both equal because it's star point to star point and star point to star point. So when you approach, you can pretty much do whichever one you want. So I think low here would be nice, simply because I want to build mine and then move on.
Yeah.
And then if we play a simple Joseki, so let's just play this one. This one's very common and simple. I know the attachment's a little bit better in modern play, but let's just play something simple. And now white goes somewhere else and gets Sente, and you just do whatever you want, right? But as soon as you play this, it looks very, very strange for you because you have to fix, and then it looks like you get territory for a star point, um, which is, and then you didn't get Sentai, so it's a little bit strange. Not impossible, I guess. It's just very, very abnormal.
Okay.
Okay, so make sure you learn your Josekis. That's the first thing I would mention.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, black jumps back, build the position. You Tanuki'd. Tanuki's important, but black's going to be able to punish you over here later if black gets to here first.
Okay.
Okay, so black plays. Normally you go high because this is really flat. If you wanted flat or third line, you would go here, but this is really flat. It's very easy to reduce. So that's why you normally go high. Um, I
Okay.
know this position's a little outdated with AI, I believe. So I think modern play would play here, but it's no different than what black did. But low feels very flat. It's invadable, right here and here. It's reducible. Um, it just feels very flat. Not impossible though. Not impossible. Okay, so black plays here. This one feels a little slow. I think the top side is much bigger, so I want to attack this. The reason is I tend to say that it's an open side until there's an enclosure, an extension, or an approach. So if there's one of those 3 things, then it's hard to say that that side is still open. I would consider it a large framework at that point. So in this case, the top side is the only open side left. So it's like the last opening idea. Uh, and if you're going to play on the top side, there's no reason not to attack these and take the base. So I feel like this one's a little bit soft. All right, so this feels a little bit nice for white. I still think black's slightly more active because we have 1 slow stone, but it's not bad. Black also has a slow stone, so maybe it's equal. This is very slow. Um, Once we're at a position like this, so this is after you play the opening, you open corners, open sides. Next up is largest framework according to basics. So here we'd have to ask who has the largest framework, black or white, and this is actually looking pretty equal. So this is actually a Moyo versus Moyo game. In Moyo versus Moyo games, the best thing to do is build while reducing. So if it was your opponent's area, you would reduce or invade it if your opponent had the largest framework. But if it's your area that's the largest framework, you want to build it. So in this case, it's about equal. So you want to find a way to build and reduce at the same time. And I think this would be kind of perfect for that, because not only is this building your lineup and pushing white's line down, it's also kind of attacking c6. So it kind of forces this response, and then this feels very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but a knight's move just feels very territorial. and it doesn't feel like that's what the board wants. Like this board is all about Moyo and center. It feels like. Again, I want to say that like all of the moves so far, it's not like they've gotten zero value. They're all getting value. I just feel like they're not as active as they could be. So I feel like the opening can be improved slightly. All right. This one I'm a really I really hate this shape. I know it's a common shape and that you can play it, but the fact that it doesn't secure the corner and yet you're still trying to play a third line move, like you're trying to play an enclosure. At least this one's a co, but this one black can still live. So it just feels like it doesn't just do what you want it to do. So unless I'm attacking something up here, or unless I have some special meaning, I usually never play this move. I always enclose with this move. Now, again, just like for black, it's the same for white. I don't think you want to enclose right here. I would like to build and reduce at the same time. I want to with a Moyo, you want to invite your opponent in and like attack them and get profit. So it feels like we're playing like 3-4 strategies and playing a territory game, even though everyone played star points. Yeah, this just feels a bit slow. Yeah, so it feels like we're playing a territorial game, but it's all about this Moyo. So it feels very strange. But again, every move's getting value, so that's good. But I really think whoever goes for the center first is just gonna is just gonna be winning.
Yeah, I think that happens eventually. What you mapped out there.
Yeah, because it feels like
ends up
yeah,
getting the whole thing.
yeah, it feels like both players are just making territory. Whoever goes for the center is gonna have a lead. All right, so we went here. I don't know. I feel like black's is bigger, so even if white defends, just keep making it bigger, like something. I don't even know. Just keep making it bigger. And I feel like you're getting more. I feel like black would be getting more, even if white defends that. So I feel like the 3-3 might be poorly timed. But one thing I do like is every single move. Okay, this is the first move. Okay, up to this point, what I do like is every single move has gotten value. So I really like that. I really like every single move is getting something and doing something, and that's very active and very good for this level. So up to this point, we've played 29 moves. Every single move has gotten value. I think there's better value. I think understanding Moyo versus Moyo games would put one of the players in a lead. But up to this point, every move has gotten value, and I really like that. So this is the first move that I really don't like because it just loses you value. Because if I block and go here, that's how much value black has in the corner. But if I play here and go here, now black has more value in the corner. It's like an extra point or so. And it's not like you couldn't block before. Like if you're going to block, just block. I think white was afraid about Sente. But if you want Sente, just take Sente. Right? If you're going to block, then just block. I think. There's no reason to lose points here. And I think taking here is big. Like this Tanuki is very, very large, but the problem is this is very inconsistent thinking. So both players are like, okay, I want to Tanuki this corner and deal with this Moyo. But in my mind, if the Moyo was so big, why did we play in this corner in the first place? Why not just start in the Moyo? So it just feels very inconsistent. So even if like we look at the AI and say, yeah, this Tanuki is much better than taking, why did we play in the corner in the first place then? Like, this just feels inconsistent thinking. Now, with that being said, I think it's better for black than white because if white takes, black's still alive. And so black actually just stole this entire corner in Sente. And that's unacceptable. So I think white's at a serious disadvantage. Maybe this move right here is definitely slow. We should play right here. Okay. All right, just something on the Mayo. So yeah, this is a very strange result. And normally strange results come about from basic mistakes. Like either we misunderstood the situation or we misplayed earlier and now it's coming up. Or something like that. Normally, weird results like this come about because of some fundamental problem. So in this case, I would say there's two fundamental problems. One, this move was bigger than the corner from the start. And two, both players were trying to take Sente, but then invested and then went to take Sente anyway. Or were trying to take Sente anyway. I think that's what White was doing with this. So it became a very strange result. This is very, very, very slow. If you're going to capture, then this is a net. So there's no cut here. If there was a cut, you would fix it by capturing, not by fixing it directly. And there's not even a cut. So let's just say we reduce somehow. You're worried about this, this. So I would say white is actually a little bit worse than black on this board because of two reasons: Joseki knowledge and Go problems.
Yeah.
I would say, just looking at this without knowing who the players are, without knowing any of that, I would say white likely has two deficits from this game, Joseki and Go problems, and black maybe has. I think both players actually have a mistake with the Moyo versus Moyo, but black got to it first. So I would say black, from just this position, black's probably going to win. I don't know the result. I'm actually interested. Am I correct?
He should have won. It's like he demolished me, and then I ended up getting away with something that I probably shouldn't have.
Okay. Well, the reason, if that came about, likely black has another fundamental mistake and you didn't. So, for example, I would say black is winning right now because white has these two fundamental mistakes. And if black lost the game, likely there's another mistake that black has that that white doesn't, right? Yeah. So, and that's why ranks balance out. Like, so one thing I always go for when I teach my students and stuff is I always ask, what fundamental are you messing up? Because if you had all the fundamentals, you'd be one dot. But at the same time, you don't have no fundamentals, otherwise you wouldn't be this rank. So it's trying to identify what fundamentals are you missing and fix it and just add to it. So yeah, I really think these two things are really big things for white. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I have 3 games and then okay, I need to watch the time a little bit. Why are we invading? There's no reason to invade. We need to deal with this Mayo. Like, invading right here is irrelevant. Even if I let you live. Let's just say I can still kill this, but let's just say I let you live. If I go right here or anything up here, do you really want to take the time to live and let me get another move? I'm just going to win the game. Yeah. So this corner, even if I let you live in this corner, it's irrelevant. But this is also too deep. It's too much. If we want to play on this, okay, this is a little bit late. I think it's already almost a losing position. But let's assume this was just an even position, and we wanted to deal with black's Moyo. There's 2 ways to do it. We draw a line, and we say, I want to reduce on that line. So we can do reductions or invasions. So that line for reductions. So we can, shoulder hits are most common. Shoulder hits are capping moves, but in this case, the shoulder hits are on the line. So either of those would be good to reduce. But let's say we wanted to invade. Common invasion points are 3/3, but in this case, this one is already sealed because of 2 other moves. This one's are also sealed because of 2 other moves. So there's no 3/3s. So the next one, for what I teach my double digit Q students, is approach a 4th line stone. Okay, those are common invasion points. And then a single digit Q, I say add on attachments. So like here and here, here and here, here and here, and then also combine them with forcing moves. So like here, 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 and here. So I would say if you wanted to invade, which means to play behind this line, somewhere behind that line, try to make a combination with those triangles. Okay. That's the points that I would look at for invasions. Now it's difficult, and you're likely going to die a few times trying it out, but that's how you start, and then you learn what variations come about from those, and then you learn how to read them out, and then once you can read them out, then you start reading them out and comparing them, and this is maybe 5Q plus. You read out which ones work, which ones don't, and you compare the results, and then say which is the easiest or most profitable for me to do, and that gets to 5Q, 2Q level stuff, I think. But these are my simple starting points. So reductions here and then invasions for triangle for this level.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, anything on that line. So maybe here, here, or something. So something, one of those points. So this feels a bit off the mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is just overplay. Just losing points right here. So definitely go problems. Like between this cut and this right here, definitely go problems. Joseki's from that.
Okay.
I don't know why we're playing over here. None of this is relevant. Like this is super small. Just all of these moves can be ignored. Okay, for both players, really understanding the line of influence, because this is very, very, very small, or at least slow. This is, you want your opponent to invade a position like this. Like this is super, super nice for black, and we just want to keep making it bigger, making it bigger. So maybe a shoulder hit, just make it bigger. You want white to come in, because if you ask, am I gonna turn all of this into territory? Absolutely not. If that all becomes territory, it's too easy. You have to expect that white is going to do something to this position. Otherwise, it's just game over. I'm like 50, 60, maybe 100 points ahead, right? I don't even know. But this is no way that white can win if this is black's territory. So white has to do something. You should expect that. You're like, okay, so I want to control more or less what white does. Well, do I want to just turn this into points and let white reduce this entire position and just block my points while white destroys all of that potential? No. I want white to come in so I can control where white goes. In other words, I want to make a positive exchange rate. So what this Moyo actually is, this is not territory. Like there's no way this is going to be territory unless white makes a mistake. There's no way it's going to be territory. But what it is control. Black is in control of this area because black has more stones in this area. What is control in Go? Like what do we want that for? Why is that so good? It's because Go is not a points game. It is not about making the most points. It's not the first to 100 points wins. That is not true. The goal is to make more points than your opponent. In other words, Go is a game of exchange rates. It's not about maximizing points, it's about maximizing the difference. So you develop this control not because you're wanting territory, but because you want white to come in and make 0 while you make more than 0. So you want, this is how Moyos work, is you want them to come in so you can attack and make a positive exchange rate, and most of the time attacking is Sente. So in other words, even if white plays a big move and you play a big move, is eventually white has to come in. Yours is bigger, so white has to come in. You'll make a positive exchange rate, usually in Sente, and then still get to another big move. In other words, you create a positive exchange rate and still go make the big move exchange rates. So you gain a lead and you run with it. So this is setting you up for a positive exchange rate sequence, and that's setting you up for a win. And that's why Moyos are so good. So I think trying to get territory like this is just not understanding how Moyos work. And I think this is true for both sides. I think neither side really understood how the center worked. Okay, so that's 20 minutes. So I think to keep this for 3 games. Main points for black: understand more about lines of influence and building up the largest position. I think both players actually need that line and understanding Moyo versus Moyo. For white, it's life and death. Go problems, because this is not life and death. This is just nets and cuts and ladders. So life and death, nets and stuff. So go problems and Josekis.
Okay.
For black, a little bit better direction to play. Like for example, playing on top was really nice, and for both, understanding Moyos. So yeah, hopefully that was helpful.
Definitely. Thanks a lot.